This is my audience. Since the invention of the photograph, there has been a need for slight adjustments. History fanatics found that the 16th president, Abraham Lincoln, used an early form of Photoshop and had his face superimposed onto an earlier image of John Calhoun in order to make himself more appealing to the public. This compares to a Target advertisement in 2014 where a model was drastically over-edited so her gap between her legs was a perfect square. Throughout the years, photo editing software such as Photoshop have altered many famous images. When Thomas Knoll, the inventor of Photoshop, released his program, his intentions were for an affordable product that would fix minor blemishes and imperfections. In an interview with CBS News, Thomas said, "Photoshop is a tool. Like any other tool, it can be used for good things and for bad things." As Knoll has added more to Photoshop, the capabilities of the software are becoming seemingly endless, from the gentle distortion of a blur tool to the harsh cut of a slice tool. The progression of Photoshop through the years has changed the photography industry. Some changes have been for the better, some for the worst. Magazines and other advertisements are known to over-Photoshop pictures in order to sell a product. When someone views an advertisement, they see skinny models and feel they are imperfect or overweight. Some people even go as far as to Photoshop their own selfies in order to feel better about their body. There is a multitude of reasons why it is important to stop Photoshop. It can be linked to major health problems. Photoshop also creates an obsession with being perfect, which lowers self-esteem. Levi Chambers states, "My obsession with perfection pushed me to create an aspirational representation of myself that bordered on bizarre." Photoshop is becoming too common around the world. Chambers also says that some estimate more than 1 million selfies are posted on social media every day, and 36% of those people admit to altering them. Photo editors and photographers should stop the use of extreme Photoshop techniques because they give off the wrong impression of body images. People are relying on Photoshop to feel good about themselves. According to Nancy Young, Photoshop will save the world with its advanced tools to smooth skin and hair, optimize body proportions, emphasize some details, just like beauty. This is not what real beauty is. Photoshop will actually destroy the world with its deceiving perception of beauty. Editing pictures does not make oneself beautiful. It makes oneself fake. Others will see that difference between the edited photos and the actual person. Even though Photoshop is capable of making slightly imperfect photos in an awesome shot, Young says, it cannot edit your actual appearance, which is what people see most. Young says maybe the lighting was off and the angle was bad, or the subject's posture was unflattering, but there's a simple way to fix those mistakes and bring your subject's natural beauty. There's nothing natural about photoshopping a picture. Photoshop is becoming more common and is poisoning the minds of a young generation. Young children are growing up learning the wrong definition of beauty. Photographer Noam Ghali states, "Girls today grow up having a distorted view of what beauty really is, and many of them aspire to look just like the Photoshop versions of famous people they love, flawless and perfect." Jean Vyestin says that teenage girls are more afraid of gaining weight than losing a parent or nuclear war. The mindset of these teenagers is not only physically unhealthy, but mentally as well. This can hurt a child's self-esteem, because they believe they can never be as perfect in the girls in the magazine. They look up to the picture of a model that is not even technically real. Mark Ahern believes girls need to know that the pictures of celebrities they see every day do not often show the real women, just edited, perfect versions. They have a standard set so high it's not even humanly possible to reach. Something needs to be done about this remarkably high standard. Something has to be done about Photoshop. If the world continues to let Photoshop control the photography industry, the way people will view perfection will never change. Aaron Howarth explains that countries all around the world are beginning to regulate the use of Photoshop. Over-edited images are slapped with a warning label. All public advertisements in those countries must be reviewed. If one of these images is over-edited, it gets a big warning label put on every single print of it, so that the viewer knows the model in the image has been altered. This is a simple practice that could easily be put into effect all over the world. The editor would send in the photograph to a rating organization to find out if it has been approved for printing. This process could also be implemented into social media to monitor altered images. Movies and television shows all must be sent in for a rating. Why are photos any different? The use of extreme Photoshop techniques by photographers should be stopped because it gives off the wrong impression of body image. Photoshop was originally intended for minor fixes such as cropping the picture and removing a red eye. As Photoshop has evolved through the years, so have its uses. Magazines and newspapers now use it to slim down models and create an impossible body standard. It is this impossible standard that can cause major health concerns such as eating disorders. However, the over-edited photos of advertisements can be stopped. Some countries around the world have already begun putting restrictions on the use of Photoshop. If an image is thought to be altered, it gets a warning label. This rating practice is already used by television shows and movies and could be easily brought into photographs. Photoshop is causing major mental issues and needs to be stopped. Go out and spread the word about Photoshop and how Photoshop can harm one's self-esteem, and make a stand to make it stop. Thank you.